a lot of people would like to know, where can I get cash? Where can I get money to handle or fund all of my real estate deals? So let's talk real estate types of money for investing. All right, the first type is banks. You see them on every corner. They definitely lend money, and most banks charge prime plus one. If you're not sure, you're not familiar what prime plus one is, prime is usually the federal interest rate plus 1% additional. Some banks may charge more. I don't think banks really charge less than prime. Here's the problems and the pros and the cons with banks. Some banks are really, really slow. If it's a competition of who can close the quickest, I don't think banks are going to be on your side, because sometimes a bank takes 30 days, 45 days, maybe even 6 months. I've seen banks they're paperwork heavy. So you got to make sure you meet all the requirements. They're going to double check and triple check, and you have to go through all of these different criterias. Credit score, you're going to have additional funds. And if you're lending for real estate, then they scrutinize even more. So if you was using the bank, and if you can have a line of credit, which they don't know what you're using a line of credit for, maybe you can buy and sell 1 or 2 or 3 properties in real estate, but that's with a line of credit. The minute you tell them that this is for a real estate deal, then you open yourself up to all the other criteria that need to match, because they're regulated by the federal government, and you have to meet those criteria if they're going to give you funds. All right. So banks, good interest rate, they just slow. And somebody like me that's really savvy, if you go to contract and you tell somebody you need 30 to 45 days to close, I may sneak in and take that deal from you, because I probably can close within 7 to 10 days. Some people right now even closing as quick as 3 days. So banks are a good option, but remember, they're slow. Let's go on to number 2. Number 2, especially for construction, renovations, and some new construction, maybe even some commercial deals, is hard money. And if you don't know what that term means, hard money is high interest, but they're lending specifically for your type of investment. Some banks may not lend on ugly houses. Hard money is directly for the ugly houses, some new construction lots, some developments, some bridge loans, but you're going to be paying between 12 to 15%. And if you don't know what that means, that's expensive money. Hard money is expensive money. If you're not too savvy as an investor, you can get stuck with hard money. If you're going to drag your feet on the construction, you can get stuck with hard money, because it's expensive. And usually when you borrow that hard money, within 30 days, your first payments is due. After you draw and you max out, that's when you're going to have your heaviest payments, especially when the property's sitting on the market. And if it's not a quick sale, you will have big interest payments. And hard money is interest only, unless if you can quickly refinance out of your money. So I suggest become an expert or become really educated before you use hard money. And now the third, and this is my favorite, private money. Private money is when you negotiate your terms with a private individual. A lot of hard money people say they're private money, but they're not. What I'm talking about is truly private money, truly private funds. Funds where you sit down with the person who's you're in direct contact with the lender. There's no middleman, there's no broker. You are in direct contact with the person that's going to lend their funds. It could be a business owner, it could be a lawyer, it could be a doctor, it could be somebody that has money in their 401k. It could be a group of individuals who lend money, and you have the direct contact so that the terms of whatever you guys decided to be. You can structure a deal where it could be a profit share. You can structure a deal where there could be monthly payments. It's whatever you two guys decide. Especially with the internet nowadays, there's a lot of resources for private funds. There's crowdfunding, there's crowdfunding specifically for real estate. You understand? It's kind of like you could do a GoFundMe page for a real estate transaction, as long as the end person is open and you're completely honest on what you're going to do with their funds and they agree to it. That's a loan that you can strategize, and it's 100% private funding. Let me tell you something. In real estate, the person with the best source of money have the most funds and have the most victories. You understand? So if it's a hedge fund manager, if it's you're getting money directly from Wall Street, or if you hook up with a group of people that have an enormous amount of cash that can give you money for your deals without any kind of red tape, that's powerful as far as real estate investing. So in real estate, all money is not good money. So my preference and how I've been investing in the last 4 to 5 years has been strictly private funds. Some people use hard money, not me, not too much. I don't really need it. Some people use banks. I use banks for my end buyers. Like when I'm done with the house and somebody wants to buy it, that bank loan serves my end buyer, because the loan products that's out there are specifically geared towards the end buyer. So why not use them on the back end? But my acquisition and my construction and my development is usually funded with private money. All right? Make sure you subscribe.